Hello, class. We're going to talk about rigging here for this lecture. So before we begin, I'm going to give you, there's an asset here that I've created. Basically, it's a box. I've gone in and I've done some fanciness. There's a box, there's an inside, and this is a lid. So there's two pieces. And that's really the first thing. If I don't give you this model, that's the first thing you're going to do is build a box. You don't have to do like the rigid around this and this is because I wanted to be fancy and have something cool to look at beyond. And I've got like 1, 2, 3 different materials, I think, maybe 4 materials on this. So don't worry too much about being fancy. Give me a box that you can put something inside. That's basically what I'm looking for in terms of the modeling. You can do that very quickly. And then some sort of lid, and it could be just a flat surface. I mean, I wanted something curved because pirates are, that's what I'm going for. Now, there is under the system tools right here, there are the bones. These have weird constraints and stuff that you probably, without practice and intentional with what you're looking for, this is probably not what you want to be using. I do want to point out there is also the biped, which basically gives you a skeletal structure from a human being. If you're doing something with a character in that regards, hooray. But I want to keep this as easy as possible. And in fact, there's another type we can deal with. It's called a dummy. And basically, you place the dummy down. Basically, the dummy is as big as, basically it's just a marker. The first dummy, though, I'm going to put this as my root, and this is important. That make sure that we'll call this root. I'll call this chest root, and I'll put that. Let's get that at 0, 0, 0. And again, if you look right here, I am working in meters already in this, so it'll be at the origin. This other one, I'm going to put this at start at 0, 0, 0. I know this is going to, I want to put this up about 25, 24, about 24. So I'm on that line right here. But I want to put it back here. So this is about 1, 2, let's say 25 back. So this is going to be on... Make sure there's no rotation there. Good, there's no rotation. Okay, and then do say 25, and that will put it. Do 24. There we go. So that will put that right on this edge right here. And the reason I'm doing it this way is that, again, and then I'm going to call this one not dummy 02, but this will be chest. So get your pieces in order before you, again, get them in where you want them to be. And I'm going to parent the lid to the root because this is essentially my structure that I'm dealing with right here. And literally what's going to end up happening is that when I rotate, I believe it'll be on the y-axis, that'll be 15. Oh, well, let's undo that. Just for the sake of argument right now, I've renamed this. There we go. I'm going to parent the lid to the chest. So what's going to happen is when I move this dummy, that is not the one I wanted. There we go. So this is the y-axis. All right, I'm going to unparent that. That's not what this is. This parenting structure is not what I wanted. What we actually want to do is build this as a skeletal mesh. And so what we want to do is go to the, and what we're doing here is basically we're saying wholesale piece attached to this bone. So the modifier we're going to use is called skin. And it's really simple. We go down to bones, and there's a lot of, we're going to just add, and it's going to say what bone. Well, I'm going to do the chest root. And then I can go to the lid and I can then now bring up the skin, and then again I'll bring in the chest lid. And now when I click on the chest lid and I move it, you see that because it's connected to that bone now, it's going to move with it. Again, think of these dummies are going to be, when they come into 3ds Max, when they come to Unreal or Unity, they're going to be considered as bones, and they're going to export it as bones. And this gives you, this is one way to build, if you're building non-humanoid creatures or objects, this is one way you can get control over those objects by using dummies as opposed to the bone structure. These are just easier to handle, deal with. And this is basically the step that we want in terms of rigging. So I'm going to save. I'm going to save a copy as, and you'll see that create. Let's go to my desktop to my lecture folder. Sorry, no, it's in the lab. So I have a crate. This is going to be rigged. So this is going to be rigged lecture. So I did this before because I wanted to make sure I had things down pat before showing you. So this is going to be the lecture version of that. So I've saved my Max file. I can now go save. I'm going to go export. I'm going to export the whole scene. Again, I need to go to the folder that I'm working in. And again, this is going to be the and just put lecture in front of it. So we know this is the version I worked on. I had done something. So there is an error in this file. So that's why I moved something around and did this, and it has caused problems. So this is, again, I'm not basically, I just went back. I've gone back clean to do what we want. All right. There is under animation, there is a question here. Bake animation, deformation, geometry. There's a thing here where they basically export out. There's like dummies. Oh, here we go. Convert conforming dummies to bones. So make sure that's on. We're going to go down to units again. Scale factor again. I'm exporting as meters. I'm going to go into Unity as meters, so I'll be fine. Now this is a really big chest, so I'll probably have to scale it down in Unity to something that's more manageable. In the future, I probably should think about working in centimeters as opposed to meters. So I'm going to click OK. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we can go into Unity again. This URP glint is it's a workflow. I'm doing something else in here as well, but I'm doing stuff as well. Again, this is your previous lab. We're just going to go File, New Scene, and I'm just going to use a standard. It's going to give you this little object right here you can get rid of. Not the reflection flow. Let's just see. The Unity material ball gold. We can just get rid of that. So we have a platform. And we look at the game view. It's going to look down it. So we're going to just put our chest on top of it. So here's lecture. I'm going to go do new folder. Lab. This is ultimately going to be lab 11, 12, and 13 are going to be in here. And where's my folder? There we go. So here is the FBX lecture. Oh, I want to put it in there. So here it's come in. It's brought all its material too. That's nice. So I can drop that into the scene. You can see that it's way too huge. Again, I'm going to just, model Scale factor, probably 0.1. And then there it is. I'm probably going to go I'm actually going to go even further. I'm going to make this 0.05. So I will probably keep doing that to this model to get it where it needs to be. So here is at 0, 0, 0. And look at our game view again. Hey. So where's our camera? Pull the camera back a little bit. So this is, so you can see here it is. I mean, I can go in, I can, grab, here is the chest lid. Again, let's go to the scene view. If I pull that around, you can see that the lid is moving around. Let's put that back. I can grab the lid itself. Well, the lid is its own model. So here's a skin mesh renderer. Again, this is the bone where it's going to be on. So I need to work with the bones in this case. Here's the bottom. Here's the materials. So again, I can move if I want to move this around, I need to move the root, or move the root. This is actually what we really want, is move this object, which is the top level of the prefab effectively. So here we go. We've got our chest in game, but we have no animations. And there's two ways we can go about doing this. And we're going to start with how we will do in 3ds Max. So I'm going to stop the recording here. Next video will be about building animations.